Hi, I'm Moon Air, owner of the Divine Medium and Crystal Cove Gems. Our question for Spirit Talk comes in from an anonymous writer, and she asks, did I make a bad decision or mistake by putting my pet down? And is my fur baby in heaven? Are they okay? The deepest question here was, did I make a bad decision when putting my pet down? I get this question quite often, and it pulls at my heartstrings because I recently went through the same situation. So I truly do know where this person is coming from. It is like putting down a child to most people, and the decision is very hard. Because you not only question, are you making the right decision for them, but are you making the right decision for yourself and your soul and your higher self? Will you have consequences in the end of it all? Will you have to pay for what you did? So I always feel like that could be in the back of someone's mind when having to go through this situation. The trauma, you never truly get over it. The trauma that is caused by something like this. You know you're doing the right thing, but you also still question it in the back of your mind. Did I really do the right thing? But you know deep down you did, because this animal is suffering and you want to help it not feel that pain. And I can't tell you how much that is of a true love. That is true love at its core, is when you take on the brunt of making a decision for someone else that's in pain so that they don't have to suffer. If you didn't question and your consciousness wasn't getting the better of you, your higher self will be held accountable for that situation. And this kind of goes towards someone that just wants to get rid of an animal and doesn't truly love them, and the animal wasn't really sick. Or someone that is for game, sporting, not for food, but for game and having fun and entertainment of another soul, even though it is an animal. What I want to help you understand is that your fur baby chose this path. You chose this path with your fur baby. It wasn't something that just simply happened. It aligned to the divine timing as it should happen. Not all pets are meant to stay for very long. And what most people don't understand is pets aren't like human beings. They don't have a soul contract of learning in that sense. They are gifts to humans to help them through the hard times, to help them through happy times. They are the joy that brings you happiness to your sadness. It kind of goes hand in hand. So their soul mission, their contract, is quite different from a human's. Their mission is to assist the humans and assist their own little fur baby families. So if your mother cat has baby cats, then that cat's mission is to concentrate on those fur babies, and you assist actually the cat in that mission. And then when those cats find homes, then now the cat's mission is coming back onto you to help assist you. A lot of people don't understand that their soul contract is quite different from a human's, because their mission is to assist humans with their soul learning here. It's like little gifts that you unwrap and you're excited about what you got, and then you see where that takes you from that point on. When it came to Vader and him passing and the decision I had to make in the end of it all, I knew as a communicator, I knew that was coming. I kept seeing it in my mind, playing over and over again. I come down the steps and he's laying in the front door, unconscious and not breathing anymore. But what I didn't understand is when I was at the doctor's office, the door to the doctor's office, he was laying right in front of. So I assumed it was my house when really it was the doctor's office. So Again, by me seeing this, I'm telling you, these things are already planned. They're already to take place in divine timing. And for me to go through that experience, I can now share that experience with you to kind of confirm it's already planned. It's already to take place. So I want to reassure you that the decision you did make for your fur baby was the correct one, because that fur baby asked you to take on that responsibility. It's only when your consciousness doesn't question it or feel something about it that there's going to be a problem with the higher consciousness and the higher self taking on that responsibility. The consciousness knows, and God knows, heaven knows, your spirit team knows. By your thoughts, they know it came from love. They understand it came from love. Another thing most people don't understand is when a pet knows that they are about to cross, they tend to try to go off by themselves. You'll start to notice that your animal just wants to be left alone because they know that that end is coming and they understand what needs to be done. They don't want to put that burden on someone else. They also understand they don't want to put the burden on to their owner or their parents. This is coming from love from them, just like your love is coming towards them when you're putting them down. When you are putting them down, they fully understand that that situation is more for you than them. So they allow you to do this for them, even though they know they don't need you there. But it's always good for us and our consciousness of learning through love to be there and support them and to let them know, yes, we know that you want to be alone while you do this, but we kind of feel better if we were here holding your paw while you're going through it. They fully understand that, and when they cross, they get a full picture of all of that feeling, all of that emotion, and all of that understanding. When Yvonne's pet cubby was being put down, I can't even describe to you in words the feeling in the room when it happened. I almost actually passed out from the immense energy coming from heaven. It was immediate. He wasn't even fully crossed over, and the whole room just exploded with angelic protection, angelic love. There was an overwhelming sense of everything's fine, everything's good, you don't have to worry, we have them now, we have Cubby, he's with his other fur family now, he's with his loved ones. And I just felt so extremely at peace with the decision that her and her family had to make for him. My favorite part of him was his big paws. He had these big bear paws and they were just amazing. And every so often, sometimes those little paws will pop in my head and I'll just be like, Cubby. And he also has a distinct smell to him as well. Vader used to have this certain way of laying down because he had really bad arthritis and he was like 160 pounds, so he was a very heavy dog. So he would slam down on the floor in a certain way, like with his back paws, and then he'd slam down in a certain way with his front paws. It was very distinct, like you knew it was him. So for Justin to hear that months after Vader has passed was remarkable. It was Vader's way of saying, hey, I'm upstairs with mom at 3 a.m. And when I'm in bed, Vader will bump the bed. That was always his thing. He'd bump the bed to get my attention, and he still does it to this day. So it is very amazing what they can do with energy just to let us know they're okay and they're still with us. Pets do choose their specific soulmate, and Maxie chose Justin. I have to come to that understanding that as much as I smother him in love, he is going to jump up, even though he's riddled with arthritis and pain, he will jump up and go to Justin when Justin comes in the door. Doesn't matter how much pain he's in. And Vader hated taking pictures with Justin. He would always turn his head. It was just the funniest thing. You could always tell, like, he didn't want pictures with Justin. And I just happened to take the camera the one day, and Vader just popped his head in and had this big smile on his face, like, yeah, let's do this, selfies. They choose their human, and Vader was Justin's dog who chose me, and Maxie was my dog who chose him. So everything is planned. everything comes into alignment. Justin would always get jealous because Vader was always looking at me longingly, like as if he always knew something. And the day that I had to let him go, and me and Justin made that decision to let him go and cross over, it was like the reason he always looked at me longingly was because he knew I was going to be the one that would be there to make the decision and help him cross over. I think he just always knew that I was going to be the one that was there. These things are planned. Don't question if you did something wrong or you doubt the end result, because I feel like your fur baby always knew at some point in time this was going to happen, and that it's okay that you were the one to help make that decision because they can't speak for themselves. Another question I believe most people would ask is, well, where are they now when they cross over? Like, what are they doing? A human goes through a life review when they cross over, after meeting their loved ones, of course. Does an animal go through the same thing? Does a fur baby experience like the same processing that a human soul does when they cross over? And some animals, yes, and some no. Some of those animals may go through a life review if they were meant to learn something specific. But the funny thing is, they don't go through like a picture review. It's more of an energetic understanding of what they learned. It's kind of hard to describe in human words what that looks like, but it's definitely not a panoramic view of what a human would experience when they cross over going through their life review. Now, some animals will get some of the visual pictures, but when it's the energetic bonding of an owner to a pet, you will start to notice that you get not so much flashbacks of memories with them. It's more along the lines of pictures popping up out of nowhere, or a song, or words. This is their life review. Whereas when a soul crosses, you start getting all these old memories, just it's memory after memory of just years ago that you haven't thought about in a long time. This is your loved one actually going through a life review. And the download of that life review is going into your mind and helping you to remember that time, because technically your soul is in heaven reviewing it with them. And I know a lot of people are like, wait, what? But I'm here on earth. How does that work? Because you're a molecule that breaks up into particles. And if God can be everywhere because you were made in his energy imaging, you can be everywhere as well. So you can be here on earth, but you can also be in heaven reviewing a life review with your loved one. And it's the same goes with a pet. Your fur baby is going through an energetic life review, and you're getting the signs and symptoms of that processing. So random pictures, maybe a song, maybe a stranger suddenly starts talking about their pet. And you're like, wait a minute, I just had to put mine down. That's so weird. It's these little subtle synchronicities that align with what they're doing in heaven. And then they choose to do what they want next. It's just like a soul. Your animal is a soul. They can be a human again. They could go back to be an animal. They could be a flower, a tree. They get to choose just like a human does. Yvonne's pet, Annabella, who we called Bella, just recently passed. She was only with Yvonne for 6 months. It was a short time period. And the reason why is because the trauma that she was to learn from only took her that amount of time. Because when a soul is trying to learn something specific, it depends on their learning and overcoming it, how long that will take. Yvonne's energy was that powerful for her that she only needed that short amount of time to overcome it. She gave herself a rare disease that only goes into a male cat or an older cat. And this was her way out of Earth. And she was making a point about this. The doctor himself was very surprised because she was only a year and 10 months. He said, this never happens. So she gave this disease to herself in her soul contract, which Yvonne doesn't really remember agreeing to, because once that learning was done, she would give herself this rare disease to kind of prove her point. Thank you for helping me with what I needed. Now I'm giving myself something mysterious to leave. Everything is planned. Everything is to align with the soul contract. And she was coming to me as a cat, as her former self here. But then after like a week or two, she started coming to me as this very skinny, very bright, light hair female who talked very softly. And I sensed the energy had shifted, and she no longer was bonded to the former self and the former life, but now was ready to move on. And this was her higher self. This was her saying, okay, I let go of all of that. Yvonne helped me understand a lot of my traumas that I was learning as a cat, because she went through a lot of things before coming to Yvonne. She was able to learn a lot of things that Yvonne helped her with, that she probably wouldn't have learned had Yvonne not been aligned with her path and came into existence together, which was what? Already put into place. Divine alignment. I want to just reassure you that these things are planned. They take place because they're supposed to. And your fur baby fully thanks you for the trauma that you've taken on, the decision you had to make, and the love that you had to sacrifice by saying goodbye. And I will say goodbye to you, and I wish you the best of luck. And I'll see you on the next Spirit Talk.